again, everyone. Peanut Gold's here. This is the third of the OC information videos that I have. Today's gets more into the, it's still basically kind of like last video with, like, the fandom-based OCs. But what makes these ones a bit different is that they were more prevalent to the backstories of certain characters. And I do have to say a bit of a warning, because I'll probably get into, like, their backstories and how they died, those kind of things. And some of the material in this video is not very suitable for kids, and it's very deep, kind of bleak. Kind of wanted to get that warning out there, because some of this content is very, very dark. Part 2 will probably be out at some point this weekend. These are the first two backstory OCs I ever came up with. These are Rolf's parents, Rita and Wendell. Now, they were really the only two who could see what he could actually do and believed in him for what he could do. Rita, especially, of the two of them, could really see this. Because he was very insecure due to the fact that one of my headcanons for him is that he didn't have a very good school life. Like, he was literally the outcast. And this kind of stuck with him. He felt like no one was ever really going to love him other than Rita and Wendell, pretty much. And Rita, she had a saying that if people are mean to other people, it's not that they don't like them, they never get to know them. And she was a very sweet individual. Wendell was a nice guy too, but he kind of contrasts from Rita's outgoing, temperamental personality. He's kind of shy, quiet. He could be very confrontational when he needed to be, but he didn't like being confrontational unless it had something to do with his family. He usually would leave the talking to Rita because she was usually the more sociable of the two of them. Rolf is pretty close with them as well due to how they were. Unfortunately, they wound up dying when he was about 10 years old in an accident. This incident stuck with Rolf even though he wouldn't share it with the band. And it really stuck with him because of the fact that they were, like I said, the only two that cared. So that's a little bit about Rita and Wendell. This character is Right-Hand Man's brother, Lucas. He was Right-Hand Man's older brother and the closest he ever really had to a father figure growing up, since their real father left when they were pretty young. He cared very deeply for his siblings and was basically everyone's dream brother almost. He was very caring, loyal, and protective. But at the same time, he could be a bit reckless and wild. Very rebellious when he wanted to be. And, he was basically, in a nutshell, I did not intend this when I first created him, but think Tadashi. Like Big Hero 6. At least in the way that he died. But, he died trying to save their mother. And both of them wound up perishing in the house. And he was basically Wright's idol, pretty much. So he became obsessed with making sure people didn't die the way he did. So he's absolutely determined to keep people from dying, which is why he's so determined to protect Reginald all the time. So there's a little bit about Lucas for you. Speaking of their mother, this is Wright and Lucas's mother, Lily. She was kind of this doting, kind of quiet, but very docile lady. But at the same time, despite being docile, she wouldn't let her kids act basically rude to anybody. She would not allow them to do that, basically thing. Wright was also very close with her, considering she was really the only biological parental figure he had. But at the same time, they shared a lot in common in terms of preferring to be quiet. They were both very quiet normally, and they both, despite how she looks and acts, she does still have quite a bit of a temper. She wound up dying with her eldest son in the house fire when Wright was about 13 or so. She couldn't escape and wound up burning alive in the fire. So, yeah. And Wright witnessed this. He saw everything. So there's another reason that Wright's so obsessed with protecting people. So there's a little bit about Lillian. These two girls are Reginald's previous family, Anna and Emma by name. Now, Reginald loved his family dearly, and he never really got over what happened to him. Now, his previous wife here, Anna, she was very intelligent and very soft-spoken, and their daughter was basically like any other 4-year-old girl. And his life was going okay. I mean, they did have their issues, like mostly financial, but their family was pretty close and intact. And Anna was very understanding of their situations. But Reginald's family was taken from him. Andre, one of the ones that's in the previous video I posted, wound up taking him from him in a ransom, which is one of the reasons I headcanon he joined the clan. But there's these two for you. This little guy here is the last one in this video, but this is Lucy's son. His name is Andy. Now, Andy was going to have his mother's personality in many, many ways, especially his sarcasm. Lucy cared very deeply for him, as he was really the only family besides Andre and her father that she really knew. And Andre, being the sick, twisted jerk he became, took that from her. There was a huge fight involving the jobs they had back then. And not only did Andy wind up getting killed in this accident, or it's unknown if it was an accident or if Andre intentionally did it, but in this situation, Andy wound up getting killed and Lucy wound up getting hurt. When Lucy remembered it, it basically became one of her biggest traumas. So basically, due to this, her and Reginald and right-hand man get along extremely well. But yeah, there's a little bit about Lucy's son for you. This is it for today's video, but the second part of this group of characters will probably be up in between tomorrow or next week at some point. Well, see you around.